Okay, we're ready to go, Perry.
All right. Let's call the meeting to order. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hopefully you can hear me. Thanks for everybody just taking the time to do this. I know everybody's trying to enjoy the remains of the summer. What we're going to do is do a little bit of new business, do some executive session things that we have to do, and then come back with any actions that need to be taken based on what was discussed. So let's start with the school bus cameras. Caroline, you want to take it?
Sure. So as per the email that went back and forth over the weekend, I believe it was over the weekend, maybe the end of last week, I reached out to First Student, and they told me that they were prepared to be installing the stop arm cameras, I believe they're referred to as, for stop arm violations in the fleet in both Dover and Millbrook. I know that there were some questions and considerations as to, because they're a private vendor, how does this factor in with our responsibility or our ability to opt in or out as a district? So we did reach out to council, and Cheryl, unless something has changed, we have not heard back about that piece. But they are prepared. They were just waiting on a timeline for installation on both of their fleets.
And just to be clear, these are the cameras that if somebody passes a bus when the red lights are flashing, this takes a picture of the car, the license plate, that kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I've
Right,
heard.
it takes a picture of license plates only. Oh, license plates, no drivers.
Right.
Shows the vehicle passing the first arm, and if there's a second arm on the bus, it takes a picture of it passing the second arm on the bus. Just the front of the vehicle and the back of the vehicle. License plates, grills only. It's a civil violation run through Dutchess County, who contracts out through a private vendor.
Yes. So I'm happy to, circle back with any additional questions for the vendor. And for First Student, I know that, cost is always a consideration. There is some information there about how the violation fees would actually pay for it within the first 5 years. I'm assuming that's estimated by the statistics that they have, based on how many times a day they have these violations that would then incur a cost. But I'm happy to do any additional research that the board may wish to have answers to before this is completed or enacted.
Yeah, I
might-
mean, good.
I was just gonna say, it might be worth checking in with the county, because based on their tracking, they don't recognize that Millbrook has responded. I'm under the impression we have to enter into a direct agreement with them. So I'm wondering if maybe First Student lumped us together and Dover entered into an agreement and we're just not recognized as part of it. But I think we should understand what happens after the payback period to whatever the violations are. There's some potential they could go to the municipality or some portion of them. So if we are lumped with Dover, we wouldn't want anything like that going to their county within this.
So, I mean, really the sort of point of contact is First Student. Personally, I'd like to see them come in and give us the details. What happens? Where's the money go? How is it paid for after the first 5 years? All those things. I mean, I have heard from different people that it's a pretty common occurrence to have somebody blow by a school bus. And if this has any ability to deter that, I know it's not the driver, but it's still, you know, a fine on the owner of the car, basically.
Correct, and the main idea is, you know, getting money back to the district, wonderful. However, the main idea is safety of our students.
Right.
And if people know that the cameras are there, they'd be more apt not to pass by school buses that are stopped with children exiting and egressing.
My question was because we don't know what the contract is with the county. So I think like David was saying, how to see what, if there's not a certain number of violations or a certain number of people don't pay those violations, then what happens? Because in the contract that we received, we have to sign off on it. Or it said Millbrook School District has to sign off on it. And there were different options for option A, outside cameras, and option B, cameras that go inside. And there was some other information where it seemed like maybe some of the cameras could see what students were going on and off the bus. So I just wanted to make sure on that. And then just in some of my research, I would love if there was any data on how this has deterred motorists from committing these violations. It's just the information that Bus Patrol, which I think is genius marketing, but Bus Patrol submitting that, there are statistics, but I couldn't through my own, Google search, look at any districts that said this really helped. Some districts it seemed like we're getting maybe a bit of portion back of those violations. I didn't see that in the contract we reviewed. So those were just my concerns.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like making decisions or even being without a complete story. Without the complete story. When does this have to be done? Or is it sort of open-ended?
That date wasn't given to me.
Yeah, I didn't see a specific date. I just think my understanding is the county's been reaching out district by district. And at least based on their tracking map, Millbrook is the one they're looking for some response for. Not every district has opted in. I think a couple have chose not to. So I don't think it's a definite yes or no. It's just we haven't responded based on their tracking.
We need to see every bit of information contract-wise, what first student plans on doing. I'm not worried about it. I know I've seen the system firsthand. I've seen how it works. I know that it does not take pictures of children. It is set up only on the stop arm, which is on the driver's side of the vehicle, and the children exit from the passenger side. So just as a side note for safety, New York City just put on their cameras in school zones 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And those are just school zone speeding. And their material, of course, their statistics show that it slows people down. And again, it goes back to the driver. I mean, not the driver, it goes back to the owner, registered owner of the vehicle. And there's no points on anybody's license. It is and it's a pretty hefty fine. First violation is $250. Once word gets out, I hope we get no violations, because that is the goal. We don't want to take a chance of any of our children getting hurt.
All right. So why don't we, because this is like brand new news. Why don't we, if possible, get somebody from First Student and somebody from Dutchess County to come in and talk to us.
Okay.
And answer our questions. You guys okay with that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. The next part is moving to executive session. Just want to make it clear that what we discuss in executive session often leads to motions or actions that we need to take during public session. So we may come back from executive session with an augmented public session with new amendments, that kind of stuff. All right, so do I have a motion to go to executive session?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? Okay. And you want to join us too, Cheryl?